Hello and welcome to the 29th episode of From Impossible to Inevitable. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me today and for pressing play on my podcast. I appreciate all of your support and your love that you send my way uh, by messaging me or texting me comments, that the shares and all the things. I appreciate your support. Thank you. If you don't know, if you're listening to me on a podcast platform, there is a YouTube version that you can watch should you uh, desire to. And there is a link to that in every episode's show notes. So go ahead and click on that should you like to watch me in all my hand talking glory. So, I mentioned that today is the 29th episode of the show. I started this podcast early this year. I posted the first episode on the first Friday of 2023. And I have posted an episode every single week since. There was 1 week where it didn't post on Friday because I accidentally scheduled it for 2024 instead of 2023. And then it took me a couple days to realize that it didn't get posted. My bad. I have, without that error, it's been really consistently posted every Friday this entire year. And that's really exciting. And I am really grateful that I have stuck through all those days that I maybe didn't feel like recording, or I didn't feel like I had anything to say, or maybe I just didn't want to do my hair. Because I feel like that I've got an extra layer of resistance because I've decided to make this a YouTube show as well as a podcast. So now I feel like, oh, not only do I have to have something great to say or even just good, I also need to look decent and I need to have my hair maybe clean and, I need to be dressed and all of that. At least dressed from the waist up. I mean, I might have worn sweatpants on some of these days. You don't know. So, anyways, I'm really excited about that because I want to share today about the very, very, very first episode I have recorded for this show. In that very first episode, I recorded it. Everything was new to me. The programs are new to me. The setup was new to me. I was trying out a microphone, which because I move around so much, I stopped using the microphone because it made the audio quality weird because it wasn't consistent. And so I'm learning all the things, right? I'm learning the lighting. I'm learning where to put my laptop. I'm learning the program, everything. All of it's new. And I record this podcast and I'm really excited about it. And I've got all the butterflies and I say things. I don't even remember what I said. But I do it. And I was scared and freaked out and my throat was dry and I record this whole thing. And then I'm so excited that I did it. I hit record, I hit stop. I was so excited. I did this thing. It has begun. I've started it. And then I had to leave. Right after I recorded that, I had to leave. I had to go get my daughter from school. And I knew it had to process and all of that. And so I was like, okay, well, while this is processing, I'm going to go get my daughter and then I'm going to come home and we'll do dinner and homework and all of that. And then I'm going to watch it. I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to watch it. And all of that's done and it's time. And I get Jake and we push play and you can see me and you don't hear anything. Nothing. Not a thing. You can't hear a thing. You can see me and all of my excitement and my jazz hands and everything, but you can't hear a thing. Not a single thing. And so I'm, pushing the volume button on my laptop and I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? And Jake asked me, he's like, did you turn the microphone on? The microphone has an on switch? Are you for real? Then later he asks me, well, when you were recording, there's like this little audio thing on the side and you can see, if you're being talking softly, if you're talking loudly, and it jumps, based on how loud you are. Did you look at that? No, I didn't look at that. I didn't even know it was there. I recorded that whole podcast, like 20-minute podcast, with no audio. My microphone was off. Didn't even know the microphone had an on switch. Awesome. I was so mad. I was so mad because I had just overcome all the resistance, all the fear, all the everything. And I felt like I did such a great job. And I felt like I'd never be able to capture that energy again. And I felt like, so defeated. Closed my laptop. I went and I took a shower immediately. And I just sat in the shower and I just felt so disappointed and so like beaten. I was like, now I have to do this whole thing again tomorrow. If I want this to be posted by Friday, I have to do this tomorrow. I didn't want to do it again. I felt like I had given it everything. Felt like I gave it everything. And I was so disappointed that I had to do it again. I remember feeling how disappointed I was and how like defeated by technology I was. Man, the microphone has an on switch. What? So we decided that the microphone would just be perpetually on. That was that. And then I decided I wasn't even going to use it. So there we go. Now I notice the bar, the little volume sidebar thing, and I watch it bounce as I speak to make sure that it's capturing my audio. But the next day, here's the really good part of this story. Yes, I was defeated. Yes, I felt really downtrodden and beaten in that moment because I felt like I'd given my all. I poured everything out there and it didn't work. It just didn't work. And I had to do it again. So the next day I got up and I came back downstairs and I scrawled down real fast on a piece of paper. I should have taken it off my wall, but I didn't. Scrawled down real fast on a piece of paper, not being careful with my handwriting, which a lot of the times I am because I like it to look nice, but whatever's. I just scrawled out, I've done it before and now I get to do it better. And that was a piece of encouragement to me that just came straight down from the divine to help me put this in perspective. Yes, I did do this before. And I did feel like I did a great job the first time. And it was such a shame that it wasn't all captured in its glory. However, I've done it before and now I get to do it better. And I looked at that as I recorded the podcast again. And I drew real strength from that. I feel like a lot of the times, at least in my life, I feel like I don't want to do things again. I want to do it right the first time. I want to get it perfect the first time. When I'm organizing something, I want it to be organized correctly the first time. I never want to reorganize this again, or else it's just a waste of time. And that's where I am in my mindset. I'm doing this one time and one time only. A lot of things don't work like that. And for myself specifically, I really get caught up on doing things right, or doing, having it right forever, like forever. This is where the cereal goes forever the first time. I get really caught up on that. Instead of being like, okay, I'm organizing this well. I'm not doing a shoddy job. I'm doing this well. I'm doing a good job. And if I decide later that I want this to go over here, or if I decide later that I actually don't want that there, then I am free to remake that decision. I am free to do it better. A lot of the times, we don't know how we want things until we put them someplace, and then we realize, oh, actually, like, I use this thing all the time, but I made its home right here, and it really doesn't make sense for the home to be right there when I could really put its home here. And then it's just easy access. So, what I'm getting at by my podcast story is that no matter what you're doing, no matter if you're organizing something, or if you're decorating something, or if you're just simply trying things out for the first time, it's okay to do your best right now in the moment with what knowledge you have, with what preferences you have, and leave that door open to change your mind another day. It's You can do it well now, you can do it now, and you can do it better later. And that's fine. And that doesn't make any of it a waste of time. Just because you organize your pantry this spring doesn't mean it's not going to need to be done next spring too. And it doesn't mean that you can't just redecide where things go. I think one of the things I love about moving so much, I love moving. I think moving, I'm one of those weird people that loves the process of moving, is because you get to redecide where everything goes. And the reason I love that is because I fall into the trap of deciding that something goes here and that's just where it lives forever, forever until we move. And it doesn't have to be like that. I can redecide where things go. Take this wall behind me, for example. I love this big pinboard idea. I think it's super fun. I think it's great. And at the same time, I'm considering doing something else back there. As the background to my podcast, I'm considering changing it up. I'm considering maybe taking that down, putting that someplace else, maybe letting the girls pin things to it, put it lower somewhere, or I don't know. And letting myself be free to feel like I didn't make a wrong decision in putting it there. And I can make a different decision and it's no big deal. So whatever it is that you do, wherever, okay. Here's what my point is. You can do something really well and it can work out, and it can work out great, or it cannot work out, like my very first podcast episode. And it can suck to have to redo it. It can feel like a waste of time. You can choose to be really down about it, like I did for that one evening. I let myself feel the feelings, and then you get to do it better. Every time you get to do it better. And that is a gift, because as we always say in our house, always, practice makes better. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Even if it's organizing the pantry, even if it's deciding that maybe you want something else on your wall instead of what you put there. So I hope that this episode has encouraged you. No matter how many times you've done something or have tried to do something, if you've done it once, you can do it better. There's always room for improvement. You can always just do it a little bit better and a little bit better. Thank you again for listening and for tuning in. I appreciate you and your support and all the love that you send my way. And I hope you have a fantastic day with, of course, all the sparkly things. Until next time, bye for now.